So sleep. If you're getting enough of it, you're feeling great. It's a great part of your life and you are able to have enough energy throughout the day and you even probably look forward to going to bed. For those of you that struggle in this area, going to bed could seem very daunting, stressful, and can really ruin the rest of your, life outside of sleep. I'm going to divide this video into three different parts. I'm going to talk about the physical effects of our body when we're getting enough sleep versus when we're not getting enough sleep, the mental effects, as well as what we can be doing to get more sleep. So to start things off, sleep can control so much of our life and how we feel in our physical health. First of all, when we are not getting enough sleep, our insulin levels increase, which is a hormone, and it can cause us to gain weight. And also research supports that those that are not getting enough sleep are also eating more calories. This is usually believed because people are not getting enough sleep, they need more energy, so they're trying to make up for it unconsciously by eating more throughout their day. When you're not getting enough sleep, inflammation can also increase within the body, and inflammation has been known to be tied to so many different diseases, including cardiovascular disease, heart disease, depression, anxiety, and joint pain. Your immune system is also lowered when you're not getting enough sleep, and that causes you to be more likely to get sick. As I already mentioned, insulin, which is a hormone, other hormones are regulated when we go to sleep as well. Human growth hormone is a type of hormone that helps regulate cell regeneration, reproduction, and just new cell growth. Pectin, which is really known as the hormone that moms release when they're breastfeeding, is also released for everybody, but it helps regulate our metabolism, our immunity, reproduction organs, as well as mental health. And the last one, cortisol, which is the stress hormone, is lowered when we go to sleep. And as a result, we're more likely to be able to fight stress and have more productive days in our life and have lower levels of anxiety as well. And the last thing that really is affected, but which is kind of a carryover between mental and physical health, is our brain is actually able to detoxify itself. So the brain, parts of the brain kind of separate a little bit, and brain fluid is able to flush throughout the brain and through the rest of the body, which really helps get rid of, heavy metals that might be in the brain, and other things that may cause toxins throughout the body. Moving on, we're going to talk about how sleep can affect our mental health as well. Really, some of these things may not come as much of a surprise to some people as most people would say when they wake up with very little sleep or having trouble sleeping, they really don't feel like themselves. Mental health issues such as anxiety, depression, stress, negative mood, and even more severe mood disorders have all been linked to lack of sleep in some way. Alzheimer's has also been linked to lack of sleep in the younger years, which is really a crazy thing to think about. Having trouble can also become a really vicious cycle where you don't feel like yourself during the day, and then you get in bed later that night and you have anxiety just of the idea of trying to fall asleep or not. So you get anxious about not sleeping and you keep checking the clock or checking your phone or getting out of bed and just getting stressed out because you're not sleeping. And like I said, it becomes this vicious cycle that just keeps you up at night, then gives you anxiety, stress, and low energy levels the next day. Lack of sleep has also shown that it's harder for some people to regulate or process emotions. They're more irritable, angry, frustrated, or even just sad. And then last, when we are sleeping, our brain uses that time, specifically during rapid eye movement sleep, also known as REM sleep, to process memories throughout the day and learn from those times. And if we have trouble sleeping or if we can't get into that stage of sleep, it's really hard for our brain to consolidate and work through some of those things that can be really beneficial for us. Finally, we're going to talk about what we can do in order to hopefully try and get more sleep, fall asleep quicker, and get better quality sleep. So the first thing that's really important is to make sure that you're getting enough exercise and activity in your day. What this is going to do is it's going to help you, burn more calories, and you're going to get a little bit more tired and you're more likely to fall asleep that night because you use a lot of energy that day, so you really need to rest later that night. If you mainly sit on the couch, or if you have a desk job or a job where you sit all day, including myself, we need to make sure that we kind of counteract that as much as possible. Part of that is also getting enough sunlight in your day. that helps regulate our circadian rhythms and also helps regulate how our body produces melatonin. So preferably getting some time outside. I mean, you can combine this with exercise, going a walk during your lunch break or in the morning or after work, just to wind down. That can be really beneficial as well. The next thing, and I like coffee. I like tea. Caffeine is in those things, but unfortunately, that can really mess up our sleep schedule as well, especially if it's in the later part of the day. So if you are going to include caffeine or tea or coffee or any other drink that contains caffeine, make sure to limit that later in the afternoon and evening, because even though some people think that they can get good sleep even when they're consuming caffeine, and I've had friends that are like, well, I can still fall asleep even if I have a cup of coffee after dinner. The research really supports that you're not getting as good a quality sleep. So that's something that I really encourage clients and people I work with to limit if they're trying to increase their sleep. The last thing, or I guess not the last thing, but the next thing that's really important is have some kind of routine and to stick to it as much as you can, preferably even on the weekends. So that might look like I'm going to go to bed at 10 and get up at 6 or 7 every single day. And the more you get into a routine, your body gets used to falling asleep at those different times. If you think about it, so many people stick to maybe they have a routine throughout the week, but on the weekends, maybe they stay up till midnight or 1 o'clock and they sleep until 10 in the morning. Well, when they try to go to bed Sunday night, if they have a traditional 5-day work week, if they try to go to bed Sunday night at 9, 10, or 11, they're not going to feel tired because they haven't really been up that long and their schedule kind of got thrown off. So if you really are trying to work on your sleep schedule and trying to get more sleep, having a routine and sticking to it is really important. I know in my routine, some things that I really has worked for me and has worked with other clients I've worked with is finding some kind of way to wind down before bed. The biggest thing I really try to encourage clients to do is limit screen time. Any type of screen produces blue light and can really be stimulated to the brain and the body and kind of tell us it's time to wake up, when really you might be going to bed in a half hour. If you do have to spend time on a laptop or on a phone trying to do stuff for work late at night, I really recommend getting some blue light glasses or turning on a blue light filter. But even then, it can still be a little stimulating. So I really recommend, if you can, try to limit screen time at least an hour, if not 2, before bed. Other things to do before bed is just to wind down. I really recommend journaling. So every night I try to journal. I write down some things that I'm grateful for. If nothing else, just write down 1 or 2 things you're grateful for, or 1 or 2 positive things that happen in your day. Or maybe if you have something really negative going on in your mind, or maybe you had a stressful day at work, just write out a quick sentence. Because if you're not, processing that somewhere by journaling or talking to someone, even just a friend or a spouse, you're going to be thinking about it all night, and that's going to keep you up. Other things that you can do is you can read, you can do yoga, you can do meditation. If you are spiritual, you can do some type of prayer or some type of devotion or scripture reading at that time. That can be a really good way to wind down. Some things I like to do is I like to use essential oils, and I diffuse those in my room when I'm sleeping. Some that I really like is lavender's probably my go-to, but I also like to make my own blends, which you can also buy as well. I like to use lavender, ylang ylang, and some type of citrus. My go-to is probably bergamot, but I've also used lemon or orange as well. Those are some really great ones that can be really calming and help you wind down. And I'll have links to all these things below of my go-to brands and my go-to items that I like to use. Some people like to use some kind of supplementation, some type of herbs that can help you sleep. Chamomile tea is one of those. It's an herb, but you put it in a tea. Super delicious, I think, and it's also really soothing and relaxing, taken before bed. But also make sure you're not drinking or eating too much late at night, because you're going to need to wake up to go to the bathroom. If you do want to use supplements, I do recommend that you talk to some kind of doctor, just to make sure it's not going to interfere with any health problems you already have. I myself am not a doctor, but these are some things I have taken and have used in the past and have used currently. Valerian root is shown to help be really soothing and relaxing and help you sleep. I really like that one. Ashwagandha, it is helps you sleep, but it also helps you regulate stress, lowers anxiety, depression, things like that. And then I also have a different a sleep supplement, but the primary ingredient is ashwagandha as well. And then most people have heard of melatonin, which is a hormone our body actually releases naturally, but you can also take it in supplementation form. Be careful in combining some of these, especially if you're on other medications. Some people can get super drowsy and even still be drowsy when they wake up the next day. But I found really good benefits in using some of these or combinations of some of these in my own life, especially if I can't sleep. I'll take one before bed if I'm having trouble or being a little more stressed than normal. So those are just a few things in order to think about what you can maybe add to your life or take away. If it's caffeine, taking that out if you're eating or drinking in the afternoon, adding maybe some supplementation, a healthier routine. I really think if you put in the effort and you're really diligent in changing some of these things that, you can really adjust your sleep schedule in a healthy way and, hopefully you feel better. And as we talked earlier, it can affect your mental health, your physical health in so many different ways. So I really do believe it's hard to really live a healthy and meaningful life if you're not getting enough sleep in your life. So I really hope that you took some things away from this. Hopefully you learned some things that maybe you can add to your own life. And I really hope that it helps you get more sleep. So thanks for tuning in today. I hope this helps you live a more healthy and meaningful life.